Hello and welcome back. If you have been around here for a little while following my journey and listening to this podcast, you may have noticed that we have had a name change. So when I originally launched this podcast, it was in the days where I was spending most of my time in the role of founder and CEO of Well-To-Do, which is the global industry news platform for the wellness industry that I built and launched and then was acquired by Fit Insider in 2022. So in those days, I was working as a business coach, as almost a side hustle, if you want to call it that. And I was working with all sorts of different types of experts, which ultimately led me to starting the podcast, which of course was called Experts at the time. And over the years, as many of you will be doing in your journey of either working with me or listening to this podcast, I realized the power of refining and getting clear on exactly who it is that you work with. And for me, that is more specifically wellness experts. So people like you who are experts in your field of mastery around health or on a topic within the wellness industry. You support your clients by providing them with a service. You are ambitious, driven, wanting to build an online business in that space. And so it occurred to me that perhaps the name Experts was not necessarily doing this podcast its full, sense of justice. So what I decided to do was to get more specific with the name, get clearer on exactly who this podcast is for, and then ensure that it is reflected in the name of the show itself. So, drum roll, we are very pleased and I'm very excited to announce that the podcast going forward will be known as the Profitable Wellness Expert Podcast. And as always, it will be a show about the business strategies, the marketing tools, tips, practical insights into what it takes to build an online business as a wellness expert, as a health practitioner in this current digital world. And goodness me, I know that you know this, but the world needs your insight into health and well-being, your transformational expertise now more than ever. And my job and my passion is to help you to master the business side of things. So what I thought I'd do is use this episode to reintroduce the new name of the podcast and also to share a few really important characteristics or beliefs that I believe you as a wellness expert or a health practitioner need to or should be giving yourself permission to embody in order to become a profitable wellness expert. And in future episodes, I will of course be diving deeper into the different types of business models, the different types of marketing strategy, introducing you to some of the world's leading experts within the wellness space, and sharing and inspiring you through their success stories and their journeys of building online businesses. But for the purpose of this episode, something that I believe is important for you to understand and also embody is a clear set of boundaries as you build your profitable wellness expert business. That means knowing what you should be saying yes to and, in contrast, what you should be or want to be saying no to. And saying no can be difficult. Saying no can sometimes feel awkward. It can sometimes feel unjustified. It can sometimes feel a little bit selfish. So instead of starting with the no's, I wanted to use this episode to start with what I think it's okay to say yes to as a wellness expert. So here goes. The first thing that I want to encourage you to say yes to is amazing clients. So often in a service-based business, we look at and think about marketing strategy as being a set of tools that convince our prospective clients, our leads, that we are the right person for them. Okay, it's this philosophy of auditioning for your clients. Please pick me. Please choose to work with me. And we can very often, and I see this all the time, I see clients carrying this energy of auditioning for their clients into sales calls, into content, into copy on websites or sales pages. A sense of having to prove that you're the right person for the job. And what I encourage you to think about in this particular conversation is the possibility that we could flip that energy, and that whilst, yes, your client needs to know that you're the right person to help them, you also deserve to know that your clients are the right fit for you. So thinking about the qualities that your ideal client will embody, not just that they have the symptoms that you can help to resolve, not just that they are able to pay for your service, although those are important characteristics, not just that there are enough of that type of person in the world to substantiate your niche, but also that you get to say yes to working with clients who are excited about their transformation, who are motivated, who take self-responsibility, who don't complain all the time, who aren't late for sessions, right? Working with nice people, working with people who you actually enjoy delivering a service to. So that's what I mean by saying yes to amazing clients. And by virtue of that, it's permission for you to also say no to those clients who don't fit that bill, who rub you up the wrong way, who are annoying or frustrating, or who overstep boundaries constantly, or who don't pay on time, or who don't, show up to sessions or do the work that they have said that they're going to do. And I mean that in, a compassionate way, of course, because sometimes your clients don't do the work because they're stuck or they need a little more coaching or they need a little more support. So I'm not talking about that type of client. I'm talking about the client that you know in your heart of hearts is not the right fit for you, and therefore not a client that you're going to want to say yes to. The second thing that I'm giving you full permission in this episode to say yes to is financial success. And that's really a big part of what this podcast is about. I know that you have spent your fair share of your precious time and money and resource investing in qualifying in your area of expertise. And for some of you, that is in the region of, thousands, tens of thousands of dollars or pounds in qualifications, in professional development, in courses to ensure that you're able to do the best job that you can for your clients. And I teach my clients in all of our programs about the importance of understanding pricing from the perspective of what your service is worth, the hours of investment in learning and education that should be reflected in your pricing, as well as your experience and your confidence and where you want to position yourself in the marketplace and so on. I mean, I have previous episodes that have been dedicated to that conversation around pricing, but fundamentally it is driven by a belief that I have that you are allowed to make money and create health and wellness transformations for your clients. You are allowed to change people's lives and also change your own life in the process. And part of that is having financial success, financial certainty, and being paid for the work that you do. What else do you get to say yes to while we're on a roll? I think that you get to say yes to your own health. And I see too many wellness experts and health practitioners who are completely burnt out, who are completely, they're running on no energy, low energy. They're running on zero fuel, an empty tank. And you can't be the expert that you need to be and best serve your clients if you are tired or exhausted or lethargic or not looking after your own health. And so many wellness experts come to this work, and you may be this too, motivated by their own health journey. So motivated by the journey that they have been on to overcome specific symptoms. And that's what motivates you to do the work that you do with your clients. And so if you're not paying attention to that, if you're not getting a good night's sleep, if you're not able to take spare time in your day to eat lunch and to take a walk and to get to the gym and to look after yourself and nourish yourself, then really, what's the point of building a business in this space? It is not what you set out to achieve. It is not the type of business that you should or need to be running, one that exhausts you. So it's about saying yes to your own health. Yes, you're allowed to prioritize your own health and well-being. And that's so that you can support your clients and not be constantly exhausted. And part of that, a big part of that, is learning how to manage the business side of things, how to effectively market yourself, how to set up systems and processes in your business that enable you to attract ideal clients on autopilot, have systems that enroll clients into your program, have systems that enable your programs to be delivered as efficiently as possible, and all of the things that we teach inside of Consistent Clients, which is, of course, our signature program for wellness experts. So what's number 4? What is the 4th thing that I believe that you get to say yes to? It is more to do with protecting your personal space. And when you're growing a business, there are so many other things that are happening. So I always say building a business happens in the context of life. And that means managing often a household or your own life admin, or, looking after family members or friends or extended family members. You may have children or parents that you care for. You may have a partner or a friend that you care for. We have responsibilities around us. And so where possible, I encourage you to consider outsourcing elements of your personal life or your household chores that are going to make it easier for you to dedicate time to building your business. And albeit in the short term or in the early days of building your business, it might only be, a cleaner that comes to help you clean your house once a month or once a fortnight. Consider those to be investments in your business, investments in time that is better spent where you are in your capacity, or what is often referred to as your zone of genius. It's a concept that comes from a book called The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. He talks about being in and operating in your zone of genius, and the fact that that is financially going to create a greater return than you spending your time perhaps cleaning your house. And yes, it's a point at which you need to be making money that you're going to be able to spend money on outsourcing of those things. But know that this is a permission slip for you to remember that outsourcing elements of your personal life that enable you to run a more efficient business that is more financially secure and has a more robust framework for revenue generation behind it is ultimately a no-brainer when it comes to the trade-off of time versus money spent. Okay, the final example where I want to encourage you to say yes is to having supportive people around you. So this is a conversation that is often had within the context of business and entrepreneurship, and it's all about surrounding yourself with positive, like-minded, equally ambitious, driven, but also passionate experts within your field or within associated fields. And it's one of the things that I love about the delivery of our group programs and courses is that you get access to this pool of similarly minded and motivated individuals who share your passion for changing lives and are also on a path to changing their own life too. And when I say changing their own life, I mean building a successful, profitable online business that enables them to have more freedom, to have more financial certainty, to be able to do work that they love and actually enjoy it, not feel drained and exhausted by it all the time. Because again, the ultimate irony would be running an online business as a wellness expert and feeling completely exhausted and depleted in the process. So yes, you should be finding your community. You should be finding your crew of friends who are going to cheer you on and not continually limit you or project their fear or discomfort about the risks that you're taking onto you, because frankly, it is hard enough building a business. It is hard enough to develop that resilience and that muscle of dedication and that grit that is required to build a successful business. It's hard enough to do that with people who are on your side, let alone those who are trying to either drag you down or constantly express their concern or worry for you. And in saying that, the people who are around you, who love you and care for you, are always doing so with your best interests at heart. I guess the risk is that their best interests for you are sometimes influenced by a lack of insight into what it takes to build an online business. For example, I have clients say to me all the time, I was speaking to my sister or my mum or my friend about, how much I plan to charge for my program. And, their eyes bulged out of their heads and they couldn't believe that was the fee that I was going to charge. And I often say to them, have your family members or your friends ever invested in this type of work before? Have they ever had the symptoms that you help clients to resolve? Have they ever been motivated, like your clients will be, to invest in their own health? And often it just comes back to a lack of understanding about the business that you're building, and also just a projection of fear and discomfort. Your friends, your family want to keep you safe. They don't want you to take, big risks. They want you to be safe and secure and certain in your future. And the irony is that building a business gives you so much certainty, gives you so much security, and is, the ultimate opportunity for personal growth and development. But not everyone around you will see that. You are in the minority of people who are taking these risks and doing this incredible work in the world. So there are 5 things that I want to encourage you as you listen to this podcast, as you build your business as a wellness expert, to have full permission to say yes to. And they are amazing clients, financial success and abundance, your own health being a priority, as well as the health of your clients, being able to outsource household chores or things that are not your zone of genius, and surrounding yourself with amazing, supportive people. And I hope that you feel like this podcast provides you with some of that energy as well. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm so looking forward to continuing this journey with you, and I look forward to having you on the next episode. See you soon.